Instead, he merely says that some of... You want to start again? Okay, let's do this again, guys. I'm not going to talk about the rain this time. I think we've just lost our viewers there, John, for that singing. But hello, folks. Welcome back once again. We're live and interactive, and I think we may have sound this time as well. Yeah. Yeah. John, if only we had an audience that could warn us on these things. But anyway, we'll move on right away. The headline is MCU head comments on Maguire and Garfield Spider-Man 3 casting reports. Now, this is coming in from Screen Rant, and I will let you in a little moment, John, just like I did say 5 minutes ago. In an interview with Comic Book, Feige addressed growing speculation surrounding the upcoming Spider-Man film, similar to what Sony and other parties involved have said. Feige neither confirmed nor denied recent casting rumours. Instead, he merely says that some of what he has read online might be true. And this is what he said. I've read some things. I'm not sure if I've read all things. The fun thing about online speculation when it comes to our stuff, it's how sometimes it could be more off the mark and sometimes it's shockingly close. And that's held true for the last few years, but saying which is which would take all the fun out of everything. So Kevin Feige's not saying one way or another. What a quote, and we've got a lot to talk about with this quote. You got that from that. Go on. All joking aside, John, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely bang on the money. This is the party trick. The reveal of Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's appearance in Spider-Man 3. That is going to be the big talking point. That is going to be the peak moment of the film for me anyway, and for most Spider-Man film fans anyway. So I think I got there. But anyway, yeah, John. Sometimes, listen. Sometimes it's better if you don't have me on audio. You should have kept it the way it was. But yeah, that's the point, though. That's the point of Spider-Man 3 for most Spider-Man film fans. They want to see this multiverse. It's the layers have been put down. You know, we've already had it from what was Jake Gyllenhaal's character again, Mysterio. He mentions it in the last Spider-Man film. We get it with the Multiverse of Madness. We're going to get it in WandaVision as well. This is them laying down the foundations of what's to come in Phase 4 as well. It's going to be multiverse out your napper, as we would say here in Glasgow. And that's the reason I think we're going to see Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. I know that people have already said, and it's probably been confirmed, that the J.K. Simmons character is not the same version as the one we got in the Sam Raimi films. I accept that. I do not think they would do that with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield as different versions. I think they're going to be. I think they're going to be there to mentor the Tom Holland version. I think that's what they're there for. Pluralize, yeah, 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 yeah. It's it, it's funny, John. Yeah, well, especially fans, but it's funny. Cast your mind back to when Into the Spider Verse came out. What was that? 2, 3 years ago now, and it's funny when we were looking at that, we were thinking perhaps this is a neat little way to get Miles Morales into the sort of live action stuff. Little did we know, and probably in our wildest dreams, I know it's not been confirmed yet. We're probably getting ahead of ourselves, but I think we're going to see these two guys coming back. Never in our wildest dreams that yeah, a third one coming through that multiverse. That would be amazing. It would be almost like the Portals moment in Endgame. This would be that moment, wouldn't it? Those three coming through from their worlds, epic, absolutely epic. This is the thing, yeah, 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 yeah. It, a cluster. Yeah, that's it, John. Exactly, John. We're going to actually stay on the same theme anyway for our next topic. I'm sure there'll be more confirm news as the months roll merrily forward with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's involvement. But it's Deadpool 3, John. It will be in the MCU and keep its R rating. This is coming in from Polygon.com, and it said Deadpool 3 will be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and will keep its R rating, according to a Collider interview with Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige. He said it will be R rated, and we are working on a script right now, and Ryan's overseeing a script right now, Feige told Collider. It will not be filming this year. Ryan is a very, very busy and successful actor. We've got a number of things we've already announced that we now have to make, but it's exciting for it to have begun. Again, a very different type of character in the MCU, and Ryan is a force of nature, which is just awesome to see him bring that character to life. Deadpool 3 will be written by Wendy Molyneux and Lizzie Molyneux Logelin of Bob's Burgers, while Ryan Reynolds oversees the process. John, how do you fit Deadpool into the MCU when you've got a character that breaks the fourth wall? How are they going to do this? Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah. Cable. Yeah. I'm in Kurt Russell. Yeah. Mm, yeah. 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 John, well, I didn't expect it, but I don't think, although it's kind of been billed as Deadpool 3, I don't think they're going to actually bill that as Deadpool 3 because I think it's going to be, it's not going to be a continuation of the first two movies because a lot of the sort of running jokes in those first two movies was the fact that Deadpool was on the outskirts of the MCU. You know, they played that sort of, that joke a few times through those two films. Also, as we mentioned, the fourth wall. I think it will be tonally the same, as in obviously R rating, clearly. But I think as well it's important to keep that. That's one of the reasons Ryan Reynolds. Um, yeah, and he does. Yeah, he does what he does, and that's what he does best. Tim Miller, yeah, it was clear. It was yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it's good to see that they've got the team from Bob's Burgers in there as well. So it's a good matchup. I think they'll tonally they'll get it right anyway. Been given that green light. Kevin Feige said that it's going to be R rated. So um, I can't wait to see what they're going to bring to it. It's going to be different. I know it's going to be different. That's what I'm saying. It's not going to be like the first two movies, but I think they'll keep the characters. It's a subtle way maybe we might see how the mutants are coming into the MCU as well with Deadpool, because he does have that association with them. So that's an interesting spin on it as well, isn't it? Well, you never know. You never know. Yeah. 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 That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I, yeah. Well, that's what we'll do, John. We'll just move on to the next topic because it does sort of blend into what we're about to talk about anyway. And it's coming in for a screen rant, and it's Kevin Feige addresses MCU oversaturation concerns. Kevin Feige has been a busy boy this weekend, but he's been interviewed all over the place, and this is obviously a cause of concern for the public and even fans of the successful franchise, as it could lead to franchise fatigue. And we saw that, John, a lot of concerns with the Star Wars brand as well a few years ago. It was true. We were all proven wrong with that one. We all said, no, give as much Star Wars as possible. And by the time we got to The Last Jedi, we kind of passed caring, didn't we? We kind of passed caring about Solo. Yeah. But no, no, no. Not when you've been waiting for the character that you've been waiting for 35 years to be on screen most of the time and you're getting that rammed down your throat. But John, while Feige admits that he has had those worries early on in the building of the MCU, he tells Deadline that he's confident this won't be the case as long as they keep on offering something fresh to the audience. And this is quite a massive quote here, John, but I'm going to might as well do it. Fill in some time, make up for those lost minutes at the start of the episode. And it's not dissimilar to the worries I've had in my first few years at Marvel, because the Marvel rights were separated among multiple studios. There would be multiple Marvel movies a year. There was one year when there was three in one summer. The question was, what? How is this going to last? How is this going to survive? And my answer then, when I had no control over anything, was as long as they're different, as long as they're unique, and some of the characters might cross over and the Marvel logo is at the front. But if they're unique and interesting stories, that doesn't go out of style. Finding something interesting and unique to watch at home and eventually being back in a movie theatre is how we escape. It's how we learn and it's how we grow. I'm getting tired here, John. It's our job as storytellers to utilise that format and tell interesting, different stories that happen to be based in 80 years of amazing narrative fiction of the Marvel Comics and can tap into all the different genres. A black and white half-hour sitcom is a very different, a very anything we've done before. It happens to star two Avengers and has the Marvel logo on it, but it's wholly unique, and that is what we have been working on for Disney Plus and Phase 4 features until we finalised Endgame. So he's obviously referring to WandaVision there. I kind of like. I like what they're doing with WandaVision. It's something different. It's shot differently. It's a different tone. They're taking two well-established characters, like it says here in this article, from the Avengers movies, and giving them a bit of range. You know, giving Paul Bettany's character more to do, rather than I always found Vision as a likable character. I always liked him. I liked him when he was Jarvis as a voice, and then obviously what he transformed into in Age of Ultron. But there was so, yeah, it was a happy little accident, and but this is giving Paul Bettany something more scope as well, and it's given Elizabeth Olsen more scope as well. Two interesting characters that we've only really scratched the surface of so far in the MCU. Oh no, Loki the following year. Is it? All right, okay. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Ah, day's night. Yeah, yeah. It's funny, John. It's funny when you talk about format, so because it took a little while for the Mandalorian really to take off in terms of format, running time. I mean, in the format, getting used to that sort of half hour, 40 minutes, which you're not used to in that environment, you know. And I think the Mandalorian's been a great, dare I say it, guinea pig, but it's sort of it's leading the way now, the way forward for good quality television. And Disney Plus know that, and that's why we're getting these great Marvel series now. And I can see them going down that same road, the same sort of running time. From what we gather, WandaVision, as you said, John's getting great feedback already. I can't wait to see this. I really can't wait to see this. I think it's next week over here. I think it is, yeah. It's either next week or the following week here in the UK. Yeah. Well, that's that, yeah. No. Yeah. 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 Carl Weathers. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, Peyton, Peyton, I can't remember his second name. Pey- Peyton Reed. They did the final episode of season two. Peyton Reed, yeah. Yeah. That's the way forward, yeah. No, no. I think, well, you look back at that, John, 10, 15 years ago when George Lucas was pitching his idea for a live action Star Wars film. This was when he was still in control of Lucasfilm. Even he knew it wasn't the right time for it. I think it would have been a terrible idea to do a live action in the early 2000s. I don't think people would have warmed to it as much now. I think the pandemic's had a lot to do with it as well, John. It's forced a lot of people's hands. We can't go to movie theatres anyway. Disney Plus have not reaped the benefits, but they've seen the opportunity and they will reap the benefits come 2021, 2022. Anyway, John, we're going to move on to. Yeah, they are. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, they're already ahead of HBO Max, but their their eye on the prize is with Netflix. That is who they see next on their target list. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's that. Exactly. Can't wait. It's only good for us, John, the fans. So bring it on. We're going to move on to our next topic, and we're moving away from Kevin Feige for a change. It's all about Pedro Pascal, who you were just talking about. Pedro Pascal, he wants to do a buddy cop movie with Bly Manor's Rahul Kohli. Now, John, this is coming in from Screen Rant, and I'm just going to read a little bit of the sort of background of more Rahul Kohli and what he's been doing. But Pedro Pascal and Rahul Kohli would love to work together on a buddy cop movie. Pascal has had a busy year, starring as a scene-chewing villain in Wonder Woman 1984 and leading the immensely popular Disney Plus series The Mandalorian. but he still has a few gigs that he'd like to nab. I like that word, nab. Kohli, yeah, Kohli is known for his roles as Ravi on iZombie and Owen Sharma on The Haunting of Bly Manor. And in addition to voicing Scarecrow as part of the Harley Quinn animated series, he's previously teased working with Pascal in a different capacity by hinting that he could show up as Ezra Bridger in The Mandalorian. That's interesting. Though he would later shoot down the possibility. Oh, no, don't do that. The actor is still holding out hope he could share the screen with Pascal in the future. Kohli even revealed that he has a bit of starting point in mind. Now, responding to a fan, Kohli tweeted that he would be holding his breath until he was cast in a buddy cop movie with Pascal. For his part, Pascal was a cut for that. Pascal, yeah, to the Queen. Pascal was quick to signal his approval by posting a trio of emojis, which made it clear he was on board with the pitch. You can see that graphic there, John, from Twitter, from Pedro Pascal responding with his little policeman, love heart policeman, that he would love to do this as well, John. We'll talk about buddy cop movies, and the ones that always pop into my head right away is Tango and Cash, Lethal Weapon, that kind of thing. 21 Jump Street as well. And I don't know too much, obviously, about the actor. I know more, obviously about Pedro Pascal and what he's been doing recently, but they've obviously got great sort of, a friendship between both actors. And you need that for chemistry, especially if you're doing a buddy cop movie. You need that sort of playing off each other. Is this something that would interest you? I don't know how you are with your buddy cop movies. Is it something? It's maybe do you think it's a genre that's maybe well worn though? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, yeah, yeah. Just like Lethal Weapon. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, it's got to have comedy in it, John. The likes of Tango and Cash, that kind of Hobbs and Shaw as well. That kind of hating each other, but they've been lumped together for a purpose. And they get on each other's nerves. That's where the chemistry lies. Just there's that fine line between putting up with each other and hating each other, and it's something that I would like to see. I think both actors are well established. I think they're versatile enough to pull this off, and the fact they're going onto social media, it could just be, they want to just play with the fans. I don't know, but I think it's something I think there's something there. I'm pretty sure there's a filmmaker out there that's probably keeping an eye on these things that follows, like Sir Pedro Pascal, and says, well, I think I'll give him a wee call and see what we can do. Yes, I'm definitely up for it. But I'm just going to move on, John, to our final topic anyway. So we'll see if anything comes of that. And it's we're going back to talking about Paul Bettany, and this is coming in from Screen Rant, and Paul Bettany is eager to play his Star Wars movie character again. This is obviously Dryden Voss from Solo, a Star Wars story. And while being interviewed by Jake's Takes for One Division, Bettany was asked if there was any other past characters of his he'd be interested in playing in an episode manner similar to the Marvel series. Bettany didn't have to think too long before he picked Dryden as his answer. Oh, I would love to mess around with Dryden Voss, Bettany said. I love that idea. Now, what I like about this, John, is the interviewer's not actually sort of picked out Star Wars. He's not asked the question, would you like to do? He's actually came out and said, that's the guy I want to play. I think there's scope there, John. Obviously, we know that he get killed off in Solo, spoiler alert. But we're seeing the likes of Cassian Andor come back. It's a prequel to, obviously, Rogue One. They can certainly do the same with Dryden Voss. I really want to see where this character came from. I really want to see his motives and how he became the person we see in Solo. It's a lot of people when Solo came out or when it was announced it was coming out didn't really want to know about Han's backstory. I was one of them, but that's because we got enough of Han Solo in the original trilogy. We got to see him become an established character. We got to see him develop through those three original films. With Dryden Voss, we only really got a taste of this character, and I really want to see him back because he's a great actor, John. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Dryden Voss, yeah. Yeah. Well, we never really got to establish. I can't remember the character's name. Amelia Clark's Kira. How she became associated with Dryden Voss. There was that. I don't know how many years it was between the Solo's parting with Kira and when they meet up again. It was a few years anyway. So I think it was. Yeah, I think it was close to a decade. So you've got that time period there. That would work. Yep. John, you love Amelia Clark. Yep. Oh, he is the man. Yeah.